So in the last video I showed you how I set up my kingfish jigging rod, and this video is going to be my snapper setup. Most of my snapper fishing I do with a light rod and reel, and mainly using slow jigs and inchiku style lures. So once again, first of all, you've got to have a suitable rod and reel for the purpose, and just like on my kingfish rod, I'm using Daiwa J-braid, but this is 15 £. Once again, black magic leader, but that's dropped right down to 20 £. Scissors and the jig that you're going to be using. Once you have your reel fully spooled up, this reel comfortably holds 300 meters of 15 £. You could even go up to 20 £, if you wanted to. And the next step is to tie on your leader onto the braid. And there are quite a few options for knots here. It's not getting put under quite the same amount of strain as the kingfish setup, and you can still use an FG knot or a PR knot, but I find them slightly harder to tie on the Jetski and take a little bit longer, and they're also a little bit more fiddly with light line. So my knot that I prefer to use for this setup is a simple back-to-back uni knot with about 9 turns on the braid side and about 5 turns on the mono side. So once you have your back-to-back uni knot tied here, as you can see, it's a slightly bulkier knot, but on this weight of line it still makes for quite a streamlined knot, and the breaking strain, as long as you tie them well, is pretty good, so you're not going to be busting off on fish. Next step we want to do is our length of leader. Now once again, I tend to prefer about 2 meters, maybe slightly more. It gives you a bit of leeway to cut and tie off a few lures if that's your thing, if you're fishing in rough ground and you're likely to get your leader scuffed up. And once you've chosen your length of leader, the next step is simply to tie the end of your leader onto your preferred jig, which for me is a Catch Better Bug 60 gram in orange. I find for most of my snapper fishing, which is 20 to 35, 40 meters, as long as you've got a nice slow drift, this is plenty. And if you're going deeper, you can always switch up to a heavier lure. And as for a knot onto your lure, a simple uni knot will be sufficient. So there we have it. We have our reel spooled with 15 £, mainline, our mainline to leader tied with a back-to-back uni knot, about 2 meters of leader, and tied with another uni knot onto our slow jig. Ready to go catch some snapper. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, remember to subscribe and leave a message in the comments of what else you want to see. Woo-hoo-hoo!